the year draws to a close here at Bamby Media and everywhere else, I'm going to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes of Bamby Media for 2024 so that you get a little peek behind the curtain as to all the things that we have achieved, that I personally have achieved, that I've loved this year. These are the kind of things that I love listening to myself, these kind of more reflective things, especially at this time of year. So I thought I would give one to you as well. So welcome to my recap of 2024. I'm going to go through some pros and then I'm going to go through some cons. The biggest pro I have to talk about, and it's probably also a con, but we're going to put it in the pro column as well, is AI. AI has been a massive pro here for us at Bamby Media because it's really just helped us do our job a lot better. You know, people talk about AI taking their jobs and things, and that's definitely happening. That's a huge deal for a lot of people. But for us in the industry that we're in, especially at this time anyway, who knows the future, it really has just helped us deliver a better product, like a better service to all our clients. AI is really helping us achieve better results when we get given audio that kind of sucks. Also helping us just like reframe things, write better, develop better content ideas, help us with strategies and things like that. It only does a small amount of what we do, but it gets us over that hurdle, that first step that can sometimes be half an hour or an hour just trying to brainstorm things. If you've got AI helping you, it definitely reduces the amount of brainstorming time and it often triggers those creative ideas, just having a robot to bounce off of. That seems weird to say, but it is true. So the first pro is AI. I've also found that it's been a much calmer year, and a lot of people have seen that as a negative as far as, maybe reduced revenue, people not buying as much, all that sort of thing. We haven't seen that in our business. It's been a great year as far as revenue is concerned, but I've just found that it's actually just calmer because I think the processes that we have are so good. The systems that we have are so good. The boundaries that we set are so good. And so it's meant that there has been less things that go wrong. I'm now in this business almost 10 years and I've had employees now for probably maybe five of those years. And every year it gets less ridiculous. As in like, oh crap, now we need a process for this. Oh no, we've never encountered that before. Like, how do we fix that? How do we change that? How do we evolve? There's been less of that's needed because the structure and how we run everything is so like, it's so like concrete that it's made it calmer. I'm not constantly trying to reinvent the wheel or think of new things or think of how we're going to do this thing because a lot of it has been set up in a really great way. That's been a real positive. It's definitely meant that there has been just a calmer vibe. So let's just take a pause on that calm for a minute and just remember that, because at this time of year, it is not calm at all. And as much as I love that, I like reflecting on the fact that overall it has been really calm. Piggybacking off of that, it's also meant that there has been or I would have to count maybe on one hand the amount of times that I've personally had to work nights or weekends. For so many years in my business, that has been the case. So from when it first started, I was working in between nap times of children and I was working nights and I was working weekends and I was just working whenever I could because there was so many things, so many distractions, so many ways that I was being pulled in all these directions that I had to. Finally, I don't have to. If I want to, I can. There's always more things that I can do. Sometimes I really feel like working on something and it's at nighttime, but that's so rare. And so it's meant that I've been reading way more. I've read way more books. I've been writing songs again. I've been like sitting at my piano more and there's just all that stuff has been so much better this year. And also, as I said in an episode that I released kind of towards the end of last year, I got an Apple Watch and that completely, like literally, I'm not even joking, it literally changed my life because I went from having a phone that I was always using to not needing a phone and not scrolling social media or checking my emails or doing all the things. I don't do any of that. I just have this. And I check my emails and things when it's appropriate to do so. So my mental health has absolutely improved because of this Apple Watch and having systems in place that I don't have to work so hard. I don't have to work so hard anymore. I just have a much nicer life. We also really started our YouTube channel at the beginning of 2024. That has been such a massive pro. I have loved it. I'm here on video as well. I just love it so much because the comments that we get, like the feedback, the community that we're building, we're going to be monetized really soon, which is, that's cool. Like that's a fun little thing to work towards, to get that 1,000 subscribers, to get that 4,000 watch hours. And that has been really cool to track the analytics behind that. Also the income that's being generated from YouTube. The YouTube channel isn't monetized. That's from people engaging with our services after watching us on YouTube or after seeing some snippets that we've shared on LinkedIn. That all is repurposed stuff from the YouTube channel, from the podcast. We've made thousands of dollars from YouTube so far without brand deals, without anything, without being monetized, because we have a channel that we already have offerings. We already have ways that people can reach us, can work with us. And so that was something I knew coming into YouTube, because I've worked on enough shows to know that already, that may be the case. So it's cool that actually has come to light as well. It's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work to have a YouTube channel. But I'm fortunate, we're fortunate, because we are a podcast and video production company. It's all in-house here. So it does cost money still, but not in the same way. Also really happily launched our free podcast audit. That's been just really great to see people taking advantage of. You can submit your show for free, and it allows me or someone from my team to discover a new show, to listen to a new show, and to get strategic around what we think they could do to do better. And it's not our full consults, it's not a big strategy, but it's a free audit. And it's been a really nice way to get people in, to be like, hey, it's okay. Like, just, we'll give you some feedback and you can grow from there. So that has been really good for that. It's also generated income as well, where people do the free audit and then they sign up to work with us. That's really cool, and not actually something I was focused on at all. I really just wanted to listen to more shows and I wanted to give people feedback. That's a happy byproduct of something that we wanted to do anyway. So that's been really good. A pro has also been training team in new skills. This has been a pro and also a necessity. We can't just do the same things that we were doing before. I can't have a team that's not diverse. Because we operate a small team and I have no interest in operating a large team, I need people that work in Bamby Media that are intelligent, creative, and willing to learn new skills. And it's not like you can go to uni and get a podcast editing degree. Like, you can get an audio editing degree, but there's nuance in podcasting. And so people that come to me, people that work with me, often don't have the skills. They don't have all the skills that I need them to have. But they need to be ready, they need to be willing, they need to be the kind of personality that will learn, that wants to learn, that wants to grow, that wants to experience new things, that wants to be challenged. And so I've really enjoyed that this year, where I've thrown things at them and be like, you got to learn this. You got to learn how to do this. And they've been, yep, cool, we'll learn it. And it sucks for a while because, they're not good at it straight away. And no one's good at anything straight away. It's something that is hard to do. So I've enjoyed giving them more things to do, training them in new things, and seeing them develop the skills, because I know that more skills is always a good thing. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, no matter who you work for next, if you happen to leave, you have skills that you can use. So that has been awesome. We also welcomed a heap of fantastic new clients this year. Ones that are really aligned, ones that are on packages that allow us to do a lot more for them. It used to be that all we were doing was audio editing. We were just editing things and just putting them up on podcast platforms, which is very satisfying. Like, it's much easier to do. But the fact that we have clients, and so many of them, that package things up, that want us to help them repurpose, that want us to do video snippets, that want us to write really good articles, want us to share things on LinkedIn for them, for YouTube, for all these things. It just means that we're allowed to be more invested in what they're doing and the outcomes that they're receiving. And I personally really value that. We don't take on heaps of clients. Again, I want to keep this team small. I want to keep like the sphere of people that we're working with to a manageable level, to a level where we can really be more hands-on. And so when we do get clients that I feel like really work, they want to improve, and we're able to help them improve because they're on packages that allow us to do that. So that has been a definite plus. And then in the same way, also a plus, a pro, is that we've lost clients that aren't like that have, teeny tiny budgets and that need to scrimp and save and can't, invest. And I get that massively. I understand that people have to leave, that people's, needs shift, that the way they need to do things shifts, that maybe they bring a VA in-house and then they think that they'll just get the VA to do things. All of this is valid. All of this is completely fine. For us as a business, it's just nice that transition is best for everybody, I think, is what I'm trying to say there. So the pro there has been really good. We've been able to fly interstate this year and help with podcast setting up, recording. We've been able to go to studios in different cities and, be creative director. We've been able to go to clients' houses, set up all their equipment, showcase things for them, record tutorials. The travel element of this year has been really fun. I sit here almost every day, all day, okay? When I get a chance to go outside, like to go somewhere and meet clients and help them with their stuff in person, and get paid to do it, like what? It's so nice. It's really, really a beautiful thing. So going interstate and being able to share that time with my partner as well has been really, really good. I've judged and attended the Australian Podcasting Awards, which is always a good time. The awards were fun. As usual, the judging process was great. There are challenges with that method, and maybe I'll do that in another episode at some point. But I think being able to highlight podcasters, listen to their shows, and really dive into them has been very rewarding. Like, it's such a rewarding thing to be able to give back and judge shows and give them some constructive feedback. So I've really loved that. And then also being able to fly down to Sydney, go to the awards ceremony, meet some people, again, catch up with clients who were shortlisted. That was all just such a fun time. I have two more pros, one of them being that we've helped clients achieve significant growth. And we have that data because we have certainly the ones that we do a lot for and that are on like our pod coach packages. It means that we track everything, like not just their podcast downloads, but we look at what their LinkedIn and what their Instagram and what their YouTube's doing and all these different platforms. And we look at how those things are going over time, the comments that they get on articles, how website traffic, like all this stuff. Seen significant growth. That is so cool. And again, that's why we like working with clients that require bigger packages, that want to work with us in a bigger way, because we can actually help them do things. So that's been so satisfying. And then the last thing that I was just over the moon about for this year was the fact that I got gifted some microphones. Oh my God, like this one I'm using, this SE DCM8 that I'm using is my favorite microphone, and it's like a brand that I absolutely adore as well. The fact that I was able to receive these from the YouTube channel, like for the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel was like teeny tiny at that point too, and I still was able to get these beautiful microphones. I have some other things as well that have been supplied for me to review and use and give feedback on. Like, that's something that I really want to do. I really want to have that be, this channel is where I go, this is terrible and this is good. Use this, don't use this. And I know it's only my opinion. Everyone has opinions, just like they have bumholes. But for me to be able to go with my 20 years of experience in audio production and help people not spend $1,000 million on things they don't need to be spending their money on has been awesome. And so to get gifted some stuff which is actually of an extremely high caliber and I would buy anyway has been really, really good. So big plug to SE for this, because SE have just created a beautiful microphone, and others in this suite as well. So that's a lot of pros. It's pretty good, isn't it? Like, that's a lot of things that have gone well this year. Now I'm going to get into the cons, because when there's pros, there's always cons. You're not going to have like an amazing year the whole time. I want this to be relatable. I want it to be true, and I want it to be honest. So let's get into some cons. One of the biggest cons that we've had this year is in our business. The software options that we have to produce the content that we want to produce are not good. We've got tools which I won't name. Okay, some of them are really falling short and I would love to be able to create software that we can use, that is for us, that we've created, that we know is awesome and everything. We're relying on other people creating tools and software that we can use in our businesses that work. Although a lot of them are good, there's nothing that's right up there. There's nothing that's like, yes, this works and it works on repeat and it's exactly what we need and it does everything we want it to do. That's been a con for me because there's been so many times throughout the year where I've been like, if we just had this, like if we just had this thing, then that would solve a lot of problems. And it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I know you're probably listening to this. Well, why don't you create it? That just seems like a lot of work. It seems like a lot of work. If you are a person that is a software developer, you're looking for a new adventure, then certainly reach out and we can chat. But yeah, that's been a real con, is that we're not currently at the place where I feel like what we use as software is what I want us to use, that the all-encompassing tools they're not quite there. And there's a bunch of AI stuff coming out. Most of it's pretty terrible. I know it's going to get better, but there's things that are slowing us down that could be sped up by specific things. I won't go any further into it, but that has been something that has been annoying me this year. Another con is AI-generated podcasts spamming podcast platforms. Flippin' Notebook LM, okay? I did a video and a podcast episode on this, actually a couple of them, a few months ago where, I was just breaking down there's so many AI podcasts now and they're all terrible. They're all terrible. All the ones I listen to anyway. There would be over 2,000. There's probably 3,000 of them right now. It's just dampening the whole spirit of what podcasting is. I don't like it. So I found that to be a con. I think the gimmick is cool. There's a certain purpose for it, but I don't think that it belongs in podcast platforms for people to get confused between it being real and it being a fake person. It doesn't sit right with me. So I haven't enjoyed that. Another con is I would have probably liked to take on one or two even bigger projects this year. So we've worked on some incredible stuff this year, really good clients, everything's working well in that regard, but I kind of want to get to a next level in that space as well. We've been doing this a very long time. I want things that are a little bit more challenging for me at this point because I need the challenge too. It's something that I know that is going to happen, but the projects haven't been as big as I'd like in this year. Has meant for a calm year though as well. So, pro and con there together. Another con, not being 100% clear on our next move. There's so many ways that this business can go that sometimes it gets a little bit but where? Where do we actually want to head next? Where do we want to place ourselves in the industry? Who do we want to work with? That evolves over time. And then with the dawn of AI and all these tools that are coming out to speed things up and for people to do things themselves, there's also that how do we need to evolve to match? So what's our next move? What do we want to focus on? I'm not 100% sure on that yet. It's something that I'm still playing with. There's a few different angles. And I know that that's kind of not a con, but I like to have goals. And I don't have my next goal kind of set yet. So that's been a con. The last one is sitting at my desk too much. I've been sitting at my desk more than I want to sit at my desk. I mean, I have a sit-stand desk. I stand, but that's not the problem. I'd like to get out more in 2025. And that's why I did put the call out just on Instagram even, just to say, hey, if anyone's doing live events, you want someone to come and speak about podcasting, I'm up for it. I spent a lot of time in this studio this year, and I know that this studio is going to be short-lived too. We'll be moving to a new space in probably 6 to 8 months. I haven't enjoyed this space all that much just because it's small and I feel quite closed in, and although that's really good for content creation, there's not much natural light. It doesn't suit my personality being so small, you know? So that's something that I'm looking to change in 2025, to get away from my desk more, to have a different setup. That's all going to be a transition phase, and I will take you on the journey of setting up the new space when we get there as well. But that's something it's felt like a little bit of a downer this year, that I've been spending so much time in this room. Even though I'm not working nights and weekends, to me it's still too much. It's too much time here. I'd like to be writing music, like playing music, to be performing maybe music into 2025, because I feel like my creative juices, my energy is gained from doing those things, and I'm just starting to, like, at this point, really get that. Like, I really understand that that's something that I need to be doing, and I haven't been doing enough of it. So yeah, that's been a con this year. It's too much time at the desk, and I'm sure so many people can relate to that as well. Okay, that's my wrap up of behind the scenes of Bamby Media, what's been going on in my head, what have been the pros, what have been the cons working here at Bamby Media. Overall, we've had a fantastic year. There's not really any complaints that I can actually make. There's a few cons, there's a bunch of positives. But I think that it's important to be transparent, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please let me know. If you're on Spotify, you can leave a comment. If you are on YouTube, you can leave a comment there. Apple hasn't come to the party on that yet, so there's no commenting for you guys. But you can reach out to me on Instagram and LinkedIn. I will share an article on this on LinkedIn as well if you want to connect with me over there. I'm also on Medium. Medium has been going very well this year. A lot of our articles have been doing extremely well. There's many places that you can reach out and let me know how you're going, what you've enjoyed, and I hope you liked this style. Bye.